credit to the defensive unit of both teams. But I do expect tonight, again, UFV should come out fighting for those 3 points, and TRU, let's hope they can stop that.
And we're off here at Hillside Stadium with TRU starting the kickoff. Glassmacher launches it downfield trying to find Patrick Izzet, but it's covered by UFV, who opts to go back to his keeper, and he kicks it out of bounds for a TRU throw-in.
As our viewers may have surmised, tops with the TRU team changed from their normal home uniforms to the black, and they're of course shooting from right to left.
Foul called on Patrick Izzet for a bit of shoving.
I expect Izzet to be, again, a mainstay of the game tonight. His last 3 games, I think, has been probably the most consistent player on the field. And his specialty, of course, free kicks, corners, particularly within shooting range, as he's, again, demonstrated in the last. And Neil Farber, and the 4th official is Christian Gaffer.
So free kick here for the Cascades. Cascades just trying to work something from this free kick, but is eventually cleared by the Wolfpack towards Denzel American, but it's picked off by the Fraser captain, Ryan Donald, and here come Cascades again. Throw into the Cascades, which Ryan Donaldson does. Cleared by Micaiah Rosalind, and it's another throw-in for the Cascades.
Last night, Dylan Hooper, the goal scorer for TRU, not on the starting lineup again tonight. I think John likes to see him come in as a substitute with fresh legs at a time when maybe some of his opponents are tiring a little. But again, another player who has been, shall we say, above normal in terms of his contribution to the game over the last in the lineup, but he is out there, and that's to TRU's advantage for sure.
Hoofed upfield by Jackson Gardner, finds James Fraser, who heads it back to a teammate, but the ball goes out for a TRU throw-in. You know, Keith, I'd like to add something. One of the unsung heroes from yesterday's game, I think, for me, was Daniel Segno. Was brilliant at a fullback here at Hillside Stadium. Yes, and looks like it's a free kick to TRU in which Patrick Izzet standing over. Delivers it in, but it's just too close to the defense of the Cascades. And here come the Cascades looking to counter. And it's flagged offsides against the University Fraser Valley Cascades. Really disappointed there.
Just want to add from a comment that I made earlier, it's actually the total points that Fraser is amassing now that's a threat to Justin Donaldson and Ryan Glanville's totals for the season. He has 28 points and is in fact 26 points, and he's chasing Donaldson, who has 27, and Ryan Glanville has 28 from previous seasons. So again, he could be a record breaker, certainly with 3 games to go.
2 legends for the Wolfpack here, and everybody's hoping that James Fraser is able to achieve. It's a free kick here for the Cascades.
Well, I've said many times before that Fraser is a big game changer and a good marksman, and all you need to do is just give him a clear opportunity, and the percentage of his shots will go in. High percentage of his shots will go in. He's also pretty useful with his head.
Yeah, that's something the TRU Wolfpack were missing just yesterday evening. As you can see, Fraser has taken his number 9 spot, and his replacement, George Lamont, is there on the bench.
Yeah, Fraser had to sit out last night's game because of an accumulation of 3 yellow cards in previous games, and that's one of the regulations of modern day soccer now, you accumulate 3 yellow cards. It doesn't matter how many games it takes, but if you get 3 in a season, somewhere in a season you must sit out 1 game minimum.
Here come the Wolfpack with Patrick Izzet. Finds James Fraser, but his touch is a bit loose. But TRU eventually get the ball back here with Mikael Rosalind. Almost dispossessed over there, but thankful that the ball ended up at the feet of his captain, Jan Paredes Glassmacher. Another standout player yesterday for the TRU Wolfpack, Jan Paredes.
And again, another very consistent player and a good playmaker from the back. Doesn't give the ball away too often. He's very reliable.
You need that in your captain.
And a good leader.
Yeah.
A very good leader.
Right now is Denzel American, who's dispossessed here in midfield, and here come the Cascades. Cascades with the ball here in midfield with Ryan Donald. Dispossessed by Junior Ajakum, whose pass is a bit not the strongest pass and is dispossessed by the Cascades. And here come the Cascades with a shot.
Good try. Very good try. Early on in the game, again, right weight, right height. If it was maybe 3 or 4 feet, maybe 5 feet, a little closer to goal, that I would suggest would have been in.
Yeah, and the player was Jaskran Sode, given a bit of room there to shoot coming out of defense. Brilliant chest by James Fraser there. And easily you can see what the TRU missed up front in yesterday's game. James Fraser's strength and tenacity. And like it was mentioned earlier on before kickoff, his elbows.
Glad for that lad. I think he's improved immensely over the last few years under the tutelage of John Antelov. And he brings a lot of energy and a lot of skill to the midfield, and again can create plays, can create chances, can cross the ball decently, and I look for, he hits a strong ball. He doesn't hit it high and drop it, which a lot of attackers don't like. They like the, but there's a good cross, maybe a bit high, a bit close to the goalkeeper, which is again not a feature of is it usually. He's usually well on the mark with his crosses, but as I say, it's early in the game. We'll see if he improves as the game goes on, and now we have light.
It was a bit dark on the field there.
It has been overcast here for most of the afternoon in Kamloops, and not particularly warm, on average around 11-12 degrees. The field is an all-weather field, which I should mention is just most recently, probably about a year ago now, I guess maybe a bit more, been completely replaced. So the two teams are playing on a fairly unused, due to COVID, field surface. His UFV with, TRU, sorry, UFV with a chance. I'll get it right. Again, and so far, a great deal.
And that was a bit of a sloppy bit of play by TRU, but once again, the reliable goalkeeper Jackson Gardner was there, and TRU are off the hook.
Well, Jonathan, as though we didn't have enough problem last night trying to read the numbers on the UFV team uniforms, because they were a dark-coloured shirt with dark-coloured numbers. But now it's a little difficult to read the TRU. Good job, we know them reasonably well.
Yeah, I'm still having a bit of hard time with the UFV. The UFV players. So throw into the Wolfpack after great strength by Denzel American to hold off his marker. And Daniel Sagno throws it in here to American, who once again uses his body great.
And that ball went out. Yes, I should correct myself again that it was UFV that had the dark uniforms, and again they have uniforms tonight that are pretty hard to read the numbers on.
I guess the kit man was was having one of those days. Sorry.
the ball, but let's see what happens here.
Is it delivers?
That's better.
But it's cleared once again by the Cascades. It tries another delivery, but the Cascades block, and we have Mikhail Rosalind here chasing it down.
Yeah, it could have gone another 10 yards a little bit higher, but I was pleased the ball when he's kicking it into the box.
Rosalind with a throw in here, looking for his teammate James Fraser. And it goes all the way back to TRU keeper Jackson Gardner. And TRU look to restart with Jan Perez. Almost dispossessed there, Jonathan Rinaldi. Was able to get to his captain. James Fraser does well with an excellent touch to Rosalind. Here's Junior Ajicum here in the midfield for the Wolfpack. Gives it to Calametches here. Looking for a teammate, opts to go long. Looking for the goal scorer yesterday, Dylan Hooper, but it's intercepted by captain of the Cascades, Ryan Donald. And here he comes down the touchline over here. Wonderfully defended by Rosalind. And it's been the Cascades this opening few minutes of the game. TRU haven't really got going. But then
well, we're a quarter of the way through the first half, and again, it just takes that one goal to change the complexion of the game, and I expect that to happen here with some very, very good attacking forwards on both teams.
And Troy with a powerful throw into the box, but once again, strong hands by Jackson Gardner being able to catch that ball in the midst of a crowd. Opts to pass it to his teammate Calametches, who's looking for options, in which he finds in Daniel Sagno. He finds in Denzel American. Junior Jacum with the ball here finds Jonathan Rinaldi, his midfield partner. And Etches opts to go long, but flag goes up for an offside on Patrick Izzet.
Well, we had a couple of surprises in yesterday's games that were played in this division. UVic defeating Trinity Western by a score of 5-1.
Wow, that's a surprise.
That was a big surprise, just like UBC losing 5-1 last weekend. And UBCO in the Okanagan and Kelowna, they tied UBC 1-1. So that changes the complexions of the standings quite a bit. TRU now definitively in first place with 14 points, and Trinity Western close behind with 13, and Victoria in third position with 12 points.
And a win here for TRU tonight will widen the gap for them at top spot.
Well, as I said again before, I think TRU are looking pretty safe, but there's no guarantee at this point. There's still some games to play, and there's still teams in this division who are 1 or 2 games behind TRU and Trinity Western in terms of games played. So still time for change, although I do think TRU are looking pretty comfortable right now.
A bit of a miscommunication there, but fortunately Jackson was able to gather the ball up. Here comes Daniel Sagno with a bit of a back heel. Checks, finds Dylan Hooper, and here comes Hooper against Ryan Donald. Donald puts the ball in, but it's just over everybody's head, and it's out for a goal kick to the Cascades.
And beat him, and then got the shot away on goal. It did take a bit of a deflection to go over the goalkeeper's head. But I think he deserved it based on his run towards goal and his cleverness in getting past the defender and getting his shot away quickly once he had done that.
Yeah, he had another chance there in the game which went off the crossbar, so I can imagine if that went in, if TRU would have won that game. But you know, chances come and chances go.
That's correct, but as I summarised at the end of the game yesterday, I think really both teams deserved a tie. Had there been a lot more chances for TRU, I would have given them a little bit of an advantage. But even Coach Antelov said after the game yesterday, he was, or the UFE team was difficult to break down and played well defensively.
And that's one of the strengths of this Cascades team, I should say. As Etches looks for his teammate Dylan Hooper with a long ball, but is once again defended by Cascades. Here's Mikael Rosalind intercepting the ball over there, passes it back to his captain, who finds Callum Etches. I was really impressed with Etches yesterday evening. He seemed so confident on the ball, so composed. He hardly got dispossessed yesterday. Excellent partnership with him and Jan Paredes these past games.
Indeed, very, very reliable, very steady. I like the way he passes the ball too. It's a very rare occasion you see him give the ball away, especially when he's not under pressure.
Yeah. I think that's why Coach opts to play Rosalind here at a fullback.
And a smart move, I would suggest, by Coach Antelov.
Cascades go long, looking for Troy here. Challenged by Rosalind. Does well, uses his body well. Ajakun with a foot in there, and referee calls a foul in favor of the Cascades. That was number 8, Taylor Richardson, who went down. Cascades with a bit of wonderful possessional play, looking for Troy here down on the right-hand side. But is defended once again by TRU captain Jan Paredes Glassmacher. Cascade takes and brilliantly defended by the captain Glassmacher here. And again with another block by him, and it's a throw in for the Cascades.
Well, the lights.
But it looks as if the sun is just coming out on the far side of the hills here at Hillside Stadium. You can see a bit of a rainbow in the sky as well. TRU lose the ball here in their own 18-yard box, but it's cleared and out into the midfield here. Ryan Donaldson opts to go all the way back to his keeper, Jackson Cox. And it looks as if
for you last year, and Peter Sobolak and Hee Young Chung, and his athletic therapist is Kevin Brecken.
Here come the Cascades in their own half over here with Captain Ryan Donald. Sidhu goes all the way back to his keeper, and here's Sidhu again with on the ball, looking for teammates, and goes back to his keeper again. Brilliant man marking here by TRU, forcing the Cascades to go all the way back. Brilliant from the Wolfpack here, forcing a mistake from the Cascades, and it's a throw in for the Wolfpack.
The head coach for the Valley is Tom Lounders. Tom joined the Cascades men's soccer program in 2013 to serve as an assistant coach under Alan Errington, and when Errington retired in 2015, Lounders took the reins as interim head coach for the year, and then in 2016, he took the job on a permanent basis. And he'll be hoping his side can produce some good chances and a few goals in this game. As I said earlier, he and his team will be trying to get out of the basement in their division, and still with a very, very faint chance of making the playoffs. They would need to basically win all 3 of their last games to even come close, but he is still hopeful.
TRU with the ball here in their own half with Callum Etches. Looks for his teammate. Patrick is it. Tries to look for the run of James Fraser, but is blocked off by a defender there. Ball ends up at the feet of Cascades keeper Jackson Cox, and Cascades restart.
And just to finish my introduction of the UFV staff, John Werrell is the general manager, who's also serving as the president of the Abbotsford Soccer Club. His assistant coach is Mike Newton, and the goalkeeper coach for Tom is David Hicks. 3 physiotherapists listed, Jag Gill, William Schratz, and Graham Albrecht are the people.
I'm sure that the viewers are also thankful for being so well informed. And Jackson Gardner takes the goal kick here, looking for James Fraser. But it's headed away by Sidhu, and it's a throw in for the Wolfpack. Here come the Cascades with number 23, David Parfait. Here's Troy, brilliantly dispossessed by Daniel Sagno here. And Sagno gets the ball back from American. I think there's a bit of a miscommunication there between Junior Jacum and Daniel Sagno over there. And Cascades with a free kick here. And it's wonderfully saved by TRU keeper Jackson Gardner.
I think that was a pretty straightforward save for Gardner. There wasn't much speed on the header, and he was actually well positioned to scoop that up. Great save. Oh no, it did slide in. Gardner got good hands on it, or a good hand on it. I thought he'd done enough to steer it past the post, but it wasn't. Congratulations to UFE for taking the lead.
And Manpal Brar with the goal over there for the Cascades. I don't know how much goals he has this season, but this is Ronaldo on it, not Patrick. Is it this time? Is it opts to stay at just the tip of the 18-yard box, and Jonathan Rinaldi puts the ball in. Brilliant delivery though.
It was a great delivery, and that's just where it needs to be. But as we've seen in the games against UFV, so very well.
Yeah, Cascades coach has really drilled this UFV team defensively. So throw into the Wolfpack here. Well, if you've missed it, scoreline is 1-0 to the Cascades here at Hillside Stadium. Goal scored by Manpal Brar of the Cascades. But there's plenty of it. Looks to take it with his left foot.
He might try one for here. Again, he's got a good shot. Keeps it low. There he goes. That was perhaps a little too low.
Hits the wall. And referee blow. And as you maybe just heard there, this is Manpal Brar's 3rd goal of the season, assisted by David Parfait.
Number 22, Ryan Lewis.
Looks as if there was a substitution for the Wolfpack with American coming off for Ryan Lewis. Jonathan Rinaldi coming off as well. Couldn't quite hear who it was.
They're undefeated after 5 games, and they've played, or that they have played so far, 3 wins and 2 ties. And again, a perennial representative in interprovincial play or interconference play through the years.
Rosalind with the ball here for the Wolfpack.
Ooh, that's a good thing.
Does brilliantly to turn his marker. Does brilliantly to turn his marker. And just a correction on the substitutions here. Number 27 coming on.
I think he's already on, and I think he's changed his jersey.
Ah, I see.
He's now wearing number 11.
And brilliant there from Dylan Hooper, who looks as if he switched sides here with his teammate Ryan Lewis. Ryan Lewis now playing on the left wing for the Wolfpack, and Dylan playing on the far right wing for the Wolfpack here at Hillside Stadium. James Fraser just hoofs it over his head looking for Dylan Hooper, but the ball runs out of play for a Cascade throw-in. And a ball from Patrick Izzy trying to find James Fraser. Unable to do so, and ball's in the gloves of Jackson Cox. Fraser just trying to Russell just trying to cause havoc in the penalty box over there with the keeper. And brilliantly defended by Mikael Rosalind. Ryan Donald, captain of the Cascades, here with the throw-in.
That's the flop, bro. He's doing nothing.
George Lamont looks to be Parfait taking the free kick and brilliantly punched away.
What is he?
Brilliantly punched away by Jackson Gardner and cleared by TRU. Cascades look to restart with Parfait here, looking for his captain Ryan Donald, but great defending yet again by Mikael Rosalind.
Hey alumni, are you missing out? Check out the TRU Alumni and Friends website at tru.ca/alumni.
Here's Brar looking to do okay. Plays the ball out of bounds for a TRU throw in here. So what more would you like to see from the Wolfpack here, Keith?
Well, I think stringing some passes to the attacking third would be something I'd like to see, and obviously follow it up with again some quality chances for the likes of Fraser and others, Hooper up front to have a reasonably clear shot on goal, or a reasonably good header on goal, and so far I think that's been absent.
And number 11, Wise there, looking for Patrick Izzy, who's unable to get the ball. As you can hear at Hillside Stadium, Jackson Cox being booed a little by the fans in the bleachers over here. Once again, it's good to have the fans back here at Hillside Stadium. Adds a bit of that motivation.
Certainly not as many as we've had in the last 3 games in terms of attendance. A good representation of fans from the local area, and probably a few from the Abbotsford area as well, but I suspect that the weather and the fact it's a Saturday night and it's not altogether that warm outside is probably a a bit of a deterrent, but a reasonably good crowd on hand for this one.
Cascades with the throw-in. Headed away by Glassmarker. Finds Izzet. Izzet does well to weave his way through and Izzet still with the ball. Brilliant play by Patrick is over there.
Well, I think it was half luck and half skill he managed to get through that lot, but again, give him credit.
We'll just say skill. It's a skill. We won't add the luck. But brilliant play by Patrick Izzet.
I think Patrick would prefer that.
Yeah. From the throw in here, which he does so looking for Fraser. Almost going in and finding the feet of Ryan Lewis, but just a bit ahead of him. And that was a good chance there by TRU. James Fraser doing well to win the header over there in the midst of about 2 players. Here's Ryan Lewis, finds George Lamont. Loose touch there by Wise in the midfield. And here come the Cascades. With number 8 over here, Taylor Richardson. Plays a bit of give and go with his striker, Brar. But is wonderfully tackled by Mikael Rosalind. Troy looking to take a quick throw in here, but is wonderfully covered by Ryan Lewis. And here's Troy, lobs the ball into the 18-yard box. Brilliantly defended by Rosalind, and here comes Ryan Lewis looking to counter. And is brilliantly defended by Nikhil Reddy, and it's a throw into the TRU Wolfpack. Patrick Izzet here. Bit of a...
Izzet recognizes that was really a poor effort on his behalf, and again, very unlike Izzet to waste a chance like that.
And Troy here is flagged offside. Kalameche is looking to take the free kick here for the Wolfpack. Looking for Dylan Hooper. And here's Wise for TRU Wolfpack. Plays it to his captain, Glassmarker here. The ball is with Rosalind. And Lamont here. Daniel Sagno here, looking for, I believe Patrick Izzet it was, and it's off for Cascades player for a throw-in, Dylan Hooper.
That's a little better from TRU. Again, good passing plays, getting it down the field slowly, but with possession. And I think we need to see more of that, and we certainly need to see the midfield particularly penetrating with some decent passes through to the strikers or the wingers.
And a strong challenge there on Troy by Izzet, but the referee sees nothing in that. And here's James Fraser looking to header it back to his teammate Dylan Hooper, but it's cleared out for a throw-in in favor of the... Izzet with a powerful throw in there, wonderfully defended by the Raymond. Daniel Sagno looking to do a bit of give and go with George Lamont, but Wolfpack or Cascades.
Great ball. Unlucky.
Great ball there by Wise. Unlucky. And we're back here for the second half of this game at Hillside Stadium with Cascades kicking off the second half for us.
And it's UFV, of course, leading as we go into the second half by 1-0.
Beautiful switch of play to Dylan Hooper here on the right-hand side.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Antilov has lit a fire under these players in this half, and we'll see a little bit more urgency in their play, and as I've said, perhaps just a little bit more passion to get that ball where it needs to go in the back of the net.
Yeah, I could imagine Coach gave them a stern talking to at halftime over here, and hopefully it pays off in the second half.
Substitution at the half for the University of the Fraser Valley. Now subbed in for the University of Fraser Valley, number 21, Miguel. Miguel Manila. Now subbed out for the University of Fraser Valley, number 19, Manila Guerrero.
And as you just heard on the PA system, Manila being subbed in for Brar there. And a great chance there for James Fraser.
For the urgency, because that's what we've been looking for, but a good opportunity there. Let's see if we can see more of that in the second half.
Maybe if it fell to his head, he would have scored that opportunity. Then again, here he is looking for Dylan Hooper. He finds him beautifully. Beautiful slide tackle there by Cascades number 17, Jax Gransodi. Wonderfully timed challenge. Ooh. And a bit of a collision there, I believe. The ball hit. Etches tried to clear the.
With orange numbers, playing from left to right.
Another throw in for the Cascades there. Cascades with a throw in, headed away by Daniel Sagno. But the Cascades get the ball back here with Troy. Looking for options, does brilliantly well. Using his body brilliantly well, finds his teammate in, I believe it was number 17, Sodi. But his effort just finds the gloves of Jackson Gardner. And TRU restart with Glassmacher here. Jackson Gardner to Glassmacher after the pass from his teammate Wise in the midfield. Here's Ryan Lewis, plays a bit of give and go with Rosalind, but is dispossessed Ryan Lewis, and it's a throw in for the Wolfpack. Cleared away by the Cascades here. The ball is at the feet of George Lamont, who finds Ryan Lewis, who finds Patrick Izzet, uses his body very well. Great strength by Izzet. Switches played here down the right hand side to Dylan Hooper, who we know can take on defenders. But this time, Sodi does well, once again timing the challenge on Dylan Hooper.
What a fabulous to some effect.
As you can see, the players there just crowding Jackson Cox, the keeper for Cascades over there, and wonderfully defended again by the Cascades. The ball looks to go to Troy, but Ryan Lewis is able to deal with it.
I think Coach Tom Lowndes, they're doing quite well, and have the 1-goal lead, which is always a nice thing to have at any stage of the game, and I'm sure they'd like to add to that, and maybe an opportunity here. Referee Flamank says play on after a hard challenge in the box.
Here's Cascades again with the ball, looking to restart down the far side of the field. Cascades just playing within their half over here, looking to pick apart that TRU defense. Pass into Troy here, uses his body very well, but it's closed down by 2 TRU players, and a wonderful switch of play there to Dylan Hooper. And there goes Daniel Saginaw galloping, overlapping Dylan Hooper, but Dylan Hooper is unable to find him. And the Wolfpack opt to go and play out from the back. Here's Callum Etches. Finds his teammate Dylan Hooper, who plays it back to Etches. I might say this Cascades team is wonderfully drilled defensively, not giving TRU any space whatsoever to try and penetrate them. Wonderful job by the Cascades coach Tom Lowndes there. TRU look to restart with this throw-in. Etches on the ball. Fouled by Troy there. TRU with the ball in midfield here. Bit of a loose touch there by Glassmacher, and he has to go back all the way to Gardner. And Gardner is being chased down here by a Cascades player. I couldn't quite see who it was, but does brilliantly well to get away from the challenge. And George Lamont is fouled.
You were talking just a minute ago about the defensive line of the University of the Fraser Valley and their defensive capabilities. Well, I just saw there, and I don't think our viewers could see it in its entirety because the camera zoomed in, but as soon as that ball went out of the 35-yard area of the UFV defense, they moved up so quickly and pushing the TRU defenders back so they wouldn't be in an offside position. But and as soon as they started to move, so too did the midfield. And I have to commend them for that. And again, that's part of the coach's influence of, a well-drilled team.
And Sagno against Troy there in a foot race and
located. But again, there's some beautiful views from the press box here at the stadium, where we're quite high up from the field level.
And as you just heard, a substitution for the Wolfpack, Mikael Rosalind coming off for Stefan Mercedes. Stefan Mercedes here at Hillside Stadium. It looks as if Mercedes is going to be taking Rosalind's position at left back here. But then again, here come the Cascades with Troy, or rather Sidhu looking for Troy. I apologize. And Jackson Gardner is able to catch the ball in his gloves.
Well read by Gardner there. Gardner, he was very quick to come off his line, spotted his need to be involved in that and to clasp the ball firmly and restart the defensive attack.
Here's Lamar here in the midfield. Shrugged off by a Cascades player in the midfield, but Patrick Izzet is able to get it back. Etches finds Izzet, who finds Lamar. Referee got in the way there, but Lamar was able to prevail with the ball. And then Mercedes looking for Ryan Lewis, but is unable to find him. And the ball goes out of play for a Cascades goal kick. Well drilled. Jackson Cox with the goal kick. The ball goes all the way through, and thankfully Glassmacher read the play and was able to get it back to his keeper. Here's George Lamar to Ryan Lewis, finds Mercedes. Mercedes plays to Lamar, and Lamar back to his captain, Glassmacher here. Jackson Gardner with a bit of a heavy touch, but is able to find Lamar, who tries to find Mercedes, but I believe it's the number 8 for Cascades, Taylor Richardson, who was able to nick a leg in there and put it out for a throw-in. Ryan Lewis leaves it for Mercedes. Mercedes with a throw-in to Patrick Izzet. Once again, brilliant defending by the Cascades. You can see all of them are back in their own half, apart from Troy up there. Here's Daniel Sagno.
Well, UFV seem to be playing with a 4-4-2 system, which they pretty much have gone with since the start of the game, but they're keeping their shape extremely well, and that certainly has stood them in good stead for this match so far, and is likely to if they continue to keep the energy up and as I say, keep clearing their lines as well as they do.
The traditional 4-4-2 used by our favorite team, Sir Alex Ferguson, or sorry, Manchester United, former manager of Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson. Here's Dylan Hooper with a good touch, finds his teammate Daniel Segno, who plays it back to Hooper. Tries to play a bit of a give and go with Segno, but the ball is just a bit ahead of Segno, and here's a
that was a very good effort. That was a little unfortunate. It was just a bit hard, tough to reach. For a good advancing player towards the goal.
And that's what TRU need to do a bit more here, Keith. Just kind of thread the eye of the needle and try to break that defense of the Cascades down. That was an excellent effort. Daniel Segno using his strength very well. Still has the ball, Daniel Segno. Does extremely well to use his body and find his teammate there, Callum Etches.
And again, through that effort now, we've switched play nicely, kept possession. And here's where you'd like to see the team move up a little quicker.
Troy with a strong... The Fraser Cascades look to make a substitution here with Ju Won Choi coming off for number 26 over here. Ajay Bopare, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's like an attacking position, or sorry, an attacking substitution. And here is Ajay here on the ball, using his quick pace that he has, but puts the ball just a bit ahead of him and is out for a goal kick. Chase goes back to his keeper, Gardner, and here's Jan Glassmacher. Wise, I think, trying to look for James Fraser over here, but the ball just a bit over his head, and it ends up all the way the opposite side of Jackson Gardner in the hands of Jackson Cox. Here's the Cascades. Over here, Ryan Lewis looking for James Fraser. And James Fraser chasing down the ball. And the Cascades player, I couldn't quite see who it was, just gets a foot in there. But here comes TRU again with Dylan Hooper. Looking for options. He finds it in Wise, but his pass, a weak pass, and finds a Cascades player. But then again, TRU win it back with Patrick Izza here. Patrick Izza still with the ball after a bit of a deflection off of a Cascades player. Here's Daniel Segno. Finds George Lamont. Looks far down the field. And finds Mercedes. TRU just trying to control possession over here. Trying to take the sting out of Cascades over here. Here's Patrick Izza with a shot. And brilliantly defended by Cascades.
But there we saw again the Cascade defense.
It's not Izzy, but Dylan Hooper rather taking this corner. Izzy just standing at the top of the 18-yard box there. And the ball goes to everybody. Finds the feet of Ryan Lewis, who hits it, but is once again blocked by Cascades. The ball goes all the way back to Jackson, whose effort finds the Cascades player. Does well over here. Number 8, Taylor Richardson. And Richardson looks for his teammate, the 18-yard box, but is flagged offside. by the lineswoman.
Good spotting by Victoria Warner there on the far side. Good call. Player was definitely offside.
Here's Jan Paredes advancing the ball, finding his defensive partner, Kamloops, with a great pass in between the hole to Dylan Hooper, who finds James Fraser. Here's Daniel Sagno looking to take on his marker. Sagno does well. Sagno still with the ball. Sagno still going. Daniel Sagno still going. Daniel Sagno gets past one player, two player, but the third player he's unable to get past. And the fans and the players here are protesting for a penalty kick by the referee. Let's play go on.
Well, he did get past two nicely, but you're kind of pushing things if you...
Coming on for, couldn't quite see who the player was. Coming on for Nikhil Reddy, as it just been announced. Throw into the Wolfpack. Daniel Sagno throws it into George Lamont, who goes back to his keeper. Here's Kamloops just instructing his teammates just to drop deep so they can receive the ball. And Dylan Hooper trying to get away from his marker number 17, Jaskran Sodi, but is unable to do that. And it's a throw in for the Cascades.
I think Dylan Hooper was having a little bit more success playing on the left side as opposed to the right side. And I can see why John Antelov has moved him over and switched the wingers around. But I think at this point in time I might consider switching them back. But there's a nice header by Hooper to move the ball forward. The referee can penetrate as he did yesterday.
Free kick to be taken by George Lamont. Lamont goes for it, and it's a fairly easy catch by Jackson Cox for TIA. It wasn't a bad effort, Keith.
It wasn't too bad. It was a bit soft, and I think I would, in that situation, much preferred him to put a cross and try and drop it on the penalty spot for Fraser or one of the attacking players for UFV. But nonetheless, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. Pretty much into the goalkeeper's hands, though, I'd have to say.
Ball just goes out of play there for a TRU goal kick.
You can see again how quickly UFV are getting back into position, trying to re-establish their shape.
Daniel Sagno again trying to look for James Fraser, but a Cascade player gets in there, and it's a foul by it's a foul on number 11 there, Wise, I believe. On it's a free kick to the Wolfpack. Lamont looking for James Fraser there.
And we should mention, of course, that following this match here at Hillside Stadium, the women will be taking to the field against UFE in the second game of their doubleheader this weekend. The Western, who have had a phenomenal season over the 8 games that they've played, a full 24 points at the top of the table. UBC in second, Victoria third, UNBC fourth in the women's standings.
I'd like to apologize on a bit of confusion. It's rather number 11, or sorry, number 11, Marcus Scott, rather than the name I've been mentioned. I can't quite remember who it was, but I apologize.
Both the men's and the women's team will have 2 games remaining in the regular season after this one, and they go up to Prince George to take on UNBC again in a double header on the 23rd and 24th of October. Unfortunately, it does look as though the women's team will not make the playoffs this year, so we can certainly congratulate them on the successes that they have had this season, and we look forward to watching their last 2 games in Prince George on the 23rd and 24th.
Brilliant piece of play here by the Cascades, a bit of 1-2 give and go. Just excellent communication, excellent team play all around. And is eventually kicked out by the Wolfpack for a Cascades throw-in. Ball goes out again for another Cascade throw-in. The ball just sort of ricochets back into the 18-yard box of the Wolfpack, and it's cleared out by Jan Paredes. Dylan Hooper finds Patrick Izzet, who is clipped from behind on that attempted switch of play to the far side to, I believe, Ryan Lewis.
I thought that actually could have been a foul. The referee could have called a foul there on Izzet, and it looks like he's picked up a knock there that he'll probably have to play the rest of the game with.
Daniel Sagno tries to thread it through for James Fraser. The referee calls a foul on James Fraser after
an injury time. Still enough time for TRU to get back in the game, as they've done now on a few occasions with late goals.
Marcus Scott gets a foot in there, and Dylan Hooper just trying to thread it to the galloping James Fraser, but it's unable.
Was aware of what was happening there and cut the passing lane off very effectively.
There we talk about the defense of Cascade yet again. Izzet with another brilliant weaving run, but he loses the ball and gets it back actually, and finds Mercedes down on the far left hand side. Mercedes puts the ball in, and from where we're sitting it looked as if it went in, but actually hit the side netting.
Game for a few minutes, I think, or a few seconds to allow the player to re-enter the game.
Cascade going long, headed away by Kamloops. Number 17, Jasker Ansodi, looking to take this throw in. Daniel Sagno controls it, but the ball hits off of Cascade's player and goes out for a TRU throw in. Patrick is with a touch back to Sagno. Sagno opts to go for the safer option and goes back to Kamloops, who passes it to his defensive partner, Jan Glassmacher. Kamloops receives the ball back. Dylan Hooper drops deep to receive the ball from Kamloops. George Lamont on the ball here. Glassmacher gives it back to Kamloops, who looks for Fraser, who the ball is intercepted by Cascade, but Patrick Izzet gets the ball. And there on the far side, I believe, is Ryan Lewis. Ryan Lewis weaving. I believe that was Mercedes doing wonderfully to use his body to shrug off the defender, but the ball.
We played in the quarterfinals. We'll move on to the final 4. which is being held from November the 5th to the 7th. And that will be hosted by the highest remaining central seed. If there is no central seed remaining, then the highest Pacific seed would host the tournament. And that certainly is part of the reason why it's always good to finish, and there's a good chance again for UFE to finish in first place in your division.
Yeah, brilliant work by Cascades down the left-hand side here of the field, and eventually Jackson Gardner is able to.
And as we've said, the U Sports Men's National Soccer Championship will take place from November 18th to the 21st at Carleton University in Ottawa.
It's going to be a great tournament this year. Hopefully TRU will be there. And here they are with Patrick Izzy. Patrick Izzy has some space and goes for the shot. Ooh, and just sails over the crossbar. Had the keeper standing still over there, Keith.
Get a shot like that away. Credit to Izzet again with an excellent finish, and unfortunately just over the bar.
Brilliant effort by Izzet. And there was a substitution by the Cascades earlier on with number 17 Jaskar and Sodi coming up for number 9 Sahil Hinsa. Daniel Segno with the ball here, finds Dylan Hooper down the line here. Marcus Scott makes a run into the 18-yard box, but yet again a Cascade player is there to clear the line. Dylan Hooper with the corner. The ball is headed out by a Cascades player, and it's another throw-in for the Wolf, or it's a throw-in for the Wolfpack. Patrick Izzy puts in a cross, and Ryan Lewis got his head on that, but it's just wide of the
Visor here, so I think if they keep this up, they manage to get around the UFE defenders, the right and the left back, as they did on a couple of occasions last night, they might yet get an equalizer.
See, are you asking all the questions right now, just knocking at the gates of, or the doors of the Cascades. Here with Patrick Izzy again. Patrick Izzy, wonderful feet, lifts it towards James Fraser.
That's handball, bro.
It looked to be a handball, but the referee saw nothing over there. And Wolfpack looked to restart with Callum Etches over here. Lamont goes long. The Cascade bench are protesting for a throw-in.
To penetrate the UFE half of the field, and you can see Coach Tom there, Tom Lounders, trying to encourage his players to keep that shape that they've exhibited so far this game.
And Ryan Fraser chasing down the ball over there. Jackson Cox just taking his time with the free kick over here, and no rush at all as his team is in the lead. Cascades with the throw-in, goes out of George Lamar, and it's another throw-in for the Cascades. Cascades here with the throw-in, and it's eventually gone out for another Cascades throw-in. Cascades doing well there. Ryan Donald, I believe it was, using his body very well to shield the ball away from a TRE defender. And number 26, Ajay, weaving having a weaving run there, going at the TRU defense. Does extremely well, but is eventually saved by Jackson Gardner. And here's Marcus Scott, who plays into Mercedes, who finds Ryan Lewis. Ryan Lewis pulled back there, but the referee plays the advantage as TRU still have the ball. Here with Patrick Izzet, who finds Dylan Hooper, who gets it back from Hooper.
Still good movement off the ball here by TRU.
We need to see more of that if they want to get that equalizing goal. Etches looks long for James Fraser with a header, but just a comfortable save by Jackson Cox.
And then there's an example of what I've talked about earlier, and that is the cross comes in quite high, and it sort of drops just as it comes towards the player's head. And from that angle, and with the ball coming from behind him, it's very hard for the forward to get a good, hard header on the ball and to direct it with some penetration. And credit Fraser there, he managed to get the header on goal, but it's very difficult to get a very clean, heavy header into the direction of the goal when the ball drops from such a high. You want a kind of a ball to float head high right onto your head, so you don't have to use a tremendous amount of exertion to get that header away.
Good ball there by Patrick Izzet, but is unable to find James Fraser. And here's Dylan Hooper applying the pressure here on number 23, David Parfait, who does excellent to get away from him, but the ball has gone out for a TRU throw-in. Izzet to Daniel Sagno here. Sagno finds Lamont, who looks down the field for Mercedes, who goes all the way back to Jan Paredes. Jan Paredes glassmarker. Etches trying to put a ball in the box, but it's blocked by Taylor Richardson. Here goes Fraser. Appeals for a penalty here, but the referee's not having it, and trying to play in Taylor Richardson. But once again, great anticipation by TRU keeper Jackson Gardner. TRU look to restart again. Once again, Cascades were able to clear their lines, and it's a throw into the Cascades. Ian Paredes glassmarker clears his lines. Finds Marcus Scott, who finds the head of James Fraser, but is unable to find a teammate. The ball ends up. Sorry, what were you saying, Keith?
Time is of the essence now. It's starting to run out for TRU, and UFE seem to be quite well structured still, and that's going to make it very, very difficult for TRU to mount a serious attack.
We're seeing a bit of urgency now in the final minutes. About 4 minutes to the 90th minute, and we're seeing a bit of urgency from TRU, but question's been asking, where has that been all this game? Here's Callum Etches being chased down by Taylor Richardson. Finds the feet of Daniel Sagno, but who's unable to control. The ball is at the feet of I believe number 26, Ajay. George Lamont with the ball. See how you look to reset. Sagno in the midfield over here. Once again, brilliant cutting off by the Cascades over here. And a foot in there by Patrick Izzet.
Ball boys and ball girls throughout the season at TRU's home games, keeping the game moving quickly and chasing balls that go over the touchline or over the sidelines, and special that brings you the coverage of these games throughout the season, all the home games. About maybe a dozen people involved in bringing you these pictures and commentary under the leadership of Cameron Doherty, the communications director for the athletic department here at TRU. A special mention for those guys who do a terrific job at each home match. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies.
Cascades player dispossessed over here, who finds Izzy and tries to play James Fraser, but takes a tumble there. As you can hear, protests from both the fans and the bench of TRU, but the referee says there's nothing in that.
Well, they have done it a few times before this season. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Headed away by Etches, head of Glassmarker there. Dylan Hooper hoofs it and finds George Lamont, who finds Ryan Lewis. Once again, it's a Cascade players there, clears his lines. Cascade player there, foul, I couldn't quite see. Cascades in no rush over here. And it's another foul on a Cascades player. Looks like the free kick is between Anthony Vega and Trevor Zanata. Plays it short. Zanata uses his body very well, finds Vega. Vega with a back heel, but that back heel goes out of play for a TRU throw-in. And TRU are looking to get the ball down the field very quickly. Callum Etches, quick free throw in here. Etches with a header down the field. Cascades clear their lines, but the ball is gone out for another throw-in for TRU. Here's Daniel Segno playing on the far side of the field now, looking for James Fraser. James Fraser tries to get to the ball. And Cascades once again clear their lines. It's another throw-in. This might be their last chance. Let's see what Izzy can come up with with this throw-in. Is it launch? I thought I was going to say is it launches, but plays it to Segno, who looks far post at Dylan Hooper.
That's it. The referee has called the match.